Hey, this is Neil's on Dynasty. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be kind, helpful, and grateful because it's better than being a jerk. Buy some silver, some platinum, and some crystallized osmium just because it's a good thing to do. It sounds cool, and you'll be the cool kid on the block. As you can see by the little picture there, this is an interesting topic about a new type of physics that what's up, Ecotech? It's a new type of physics that says that gravity is not what we think it is. It's very interesting. It's a new thought process. Let's see what they have to say.
Gravity has long been viewed as a fundamental force, from Newton's apple to Einstein's curved spacetime. But a new study by Dr. Des Melvin Vopson, published in AIP Advances on April 25, 2025, proposes something revolutionary. Gravity might not be a force at all, but a computational process, an emergent effect of the universe organizing and compressing information. Rooted in the rising field of information physics, this theory suggests that reality itself, matter, energy, even space-time, is built from encoded data. Gravity, then,
This is some
may
weird
be the
shit.
universe's way of optimizing its own
I understand it,
informational
but it's
structure.
hard to wrap
In
your
this
head around.
video, we'll explore this bold new idea, how it works, and what it could mean for the future of physics. At the core of Dr. Vopson's theory lies a radical yet intuitive idea. The universe operates like a computational system. Every interaction, particle, and even the fabric of space can be expressed as bits of information. This concept echoes John Archibald Wheeler's famous phrase, "it from bit," which asserts that the physical world arises from binary informational content. Vopson introduces a model called space pixelation, imagining the universe as a grid of tiny, discrete units at the Planck scale, each unit functioning like a pixel in a digital image. In this framework, a 1 could indicate the presence of matter, while a 0 signifies empty space. This organization mimics digital simulations where information is efficiently stored and processed. By grouping matter together into more compact systems, the universe effectively reduces the amount of scattered information it needs to manage. This structural ordering reflects a deeper computational strategy, minimizing complexity to enable more efficient updates or calculations of the universe's state. Just as computers compress files to improve storage and performance, the cosmos may be performing an ongoing act of informational simplification, and gravity could be the tool it uses to do so. Dr. Vopson frames gravity as a mechanism of informational efficiency, governed by what he calls the second law of information dynamics. This law proposes that systems naturally evolve toward configurations that are less informationally complex, seeking patterns, order, and minimal entropy in data terms, rather than purely thermodynamic ones. This viewpoint transforms our understanding of gravitational behavior. For example, the way galaxies form from clouds of gas or stars emerge from denser regions can be interpreted as acts of computational consolidation. Gravity isn't merely pulling objects together. It's helping the universe become a cleaner, leaner system in terms of information flow. Perhaps most intriguingly, this perspective may offer insights into why the universe is structured the way it is. Large-scale formations, such as cosmic filaments and voids, may be emergent solutions to deep computational problems. Instead of seeing gravity as a standalone force, we can now imagine it as the expression of the universe's algorithmic need to self-organize and compute its own evolution more efficiently. This changes the narrative. Gravity isn't something that just is, it may be something the universe does as part of a deeper logic embedded within the fabric of reality itself.
Kind of hard to wrap.
Dr. Vopson's theory doesn't stand alone in attempting to recast gravity through the lens of deeper principles. A number of cutting-edge frameworks share conceptual parallels, suggesting a growing movement toward redefining physics as an information-driven science. One closely related idea is entropic gravity, proposed by Dutch physicist Eric Verlinde in 2011. Verlinde argues that gravity is not a fundamental interaction, but an emergent phenomenon arising from the statistical behavior of microscopic information associated with the positions of material bodies. In his view, gravitational attraction results from the tendency of systems to move toward configurations with greater entropy. While Vopson focuses on informational efficiency, Verlinde emphasizes informational disorder. Yet both posit that gravity is not fundamental, but emergent. Another complementary theory is the holographic principle derived from black hole thermodynamics and string theory. Introduced by Gerard 't Hooft and further developed by Leonard Susskind, it proposes that the total information content of a volume of space can be encoded on its boundary, much like a hologram. This idea aligns with the notion that reality is fundamentally informational, and that what we perceive as 3D space may be a projection of underlying data stored elsewhere. The digital physics school of thought, led by figures such as Edward Fridkin and Stephen Wolfram, suggests the universe behaves like a vast cellular automaton, an evolving, rule-based computation. Wolfram's work on a new kind of science explores how simple rules can generate complex patterns, and his more recent physics project attempts to derive space-time and relativity from discrete networks of computations. Even more radical are quantum information-based theories of reality, such as Seth Lloyd's model that the universe is a quantum computer. In this scenario, all interactions are computations, and evolution of the universe is a form of information processing. Lloyd estimates the universe has performed about 10 to the 90th power logical operations since the Big Bang, a perspective that fits well with Vopson's computational narrative. All of these frameworks, from Verlinde's entropic logic to the holographic principle to Wolfram's rule-based space, converge on a striking idea: reality is computation. While they differ in mechanisms and emphasis, they share a belief that what we call forces and particles are emergent, not foundational. This convergence suggests a deeper unifying truth may be waiting to be uncovered, one in which gravity is just a visible ripple on an invisible ocean of encoded data. Future research could explore how these theories intersect, whether through mathematical modeling, cosmological simulations, or quantum experiments. If multiple informational theories converge to similar conclusions, it may soon be time to rewrite the very language of physics, replacing mass, charge, and curvature with code, logic, and entropy.
That would be trippy. That would be very, very trippy to come up with a new type of physics, new way to look at everything, mathematically based, informational based. Also, kinds of adds a sense of not order, but it kind of goes along with the Da Vinci Code. That there's a mathematical symbologies in most everything. If the way they're looking at this new way to perceive physics turns out to be something, which it might, most probably will, it'll advance our thought process, way of looking at things. And anytime we look at things differently, we always create new, interesting things as well, which brings new technologies, stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to bring you that just to show you that part. See that science is moving ahead. People are thinking outside the box to bring us new ideas to advance our physics and beyond E equals MC square. What's up, P Nice? I'm just sitting here blowing a bowl, throwing out some the most modern viewpoint of physics, showing where gravity is actually embedded code of the universe sorting itself out, simplifying itself, and making itself more orderly. It's a very, very interesting principle. And I got another very interesting show here. It goes on pretty much what I like. Everyone make sure to like, share, and subscribe. This guy's a Speculative Sphere. He has 32 subscribers. This is viewed 301 times 4 months ago. Let's see what he has to say about asteroid mining revolution, unlocking platinum, water, and space resources for the future. Let's see what his perspective is.
Where the sky is not the limit, but the beginning of a new age of exploration. Picture a future where the vastness of space is no longer an area,
Bring it
but
on.
a treasure chest filled with untold wealth. This isn't the plot of a sci-fi novel. This is humanity's new frontier. In a twist that could reshape the global economy and our very way of life, humans are now looking to the stars for the resources we desperately need. For decades, we've been limited to the Earth's surface, extracting metals, minerals, and precious materials from the ground. But what if the ultimate jackpot lies not beneath our feet, but above our heads, in the floating bodies of rock and metal that drift silently in the void of space? Welcome to the world of asteroid mining, a revolutionary concept that could unlock unimaginable wealth, solve global resource shortages, and push the boundaries of human civilization beyond our wildest dreams. But the question remains, can we truly mine asteroids? And if we can, what happens when humanity stakes its claim on the stars? It started as a dream in the early 2000s. Companies like Planetary Resources and Deep Space Industries captivated the world with their audacious plans to mine asteroids for materials like platinum, gold, and even water. These precious metals, they promised, could change the world's entire economic landscape. Why fight for dwindling resources on Earth when the asteroid belt offers untapped wealth beyond imagination?
And it does.
The idea is simple. Asteroids are rich in metals that are rare on Earth: platinum, gold, and rare earth elements that could transform industries from technology to renewable energy. But it's not just about precious metals. Water, an essential resource for long-term space exploration and even for future colonies, could be extracted and used to produce oxygen, hydrogen, and fuel, transforming these barren rocks into life-sustaining stations. In theory.
And actually, that doesn't cost that much, turning oxygen, water into oxygen and hydrogen, because of that new rock we discovered 2,000 meters under the Pacific Ocean. It does exactly that. So all you need is a couple jars full of that rock, and go to an asteroid, get some asteroid H2O in frozen form, stick it in there, and produce oxygen and fuel for your spaceship.
Asteroid mining sounds like a game changer, but reality, as always, is a bit more complicated. The technical hurdles are enormous.
Hey, what's up, Frank? We're talking about
First,
some crazy shit.
we need to get there. To reach an asteroid in the first place, a spacecraft must travel millions of miles into space, far beyond the reach of current rocket technology. And it's not just about arriving. Once there, we must find a way to land on an object that's tumbling in space, with minimal gravity and no solid surface to anchor onto. Imagine trying to land a spacecraft on a rock the size of a football field, which is hurtling through space at tens of thousands of miles per hour. It's like trying to catch a bullet midair with a fishing net. Then, there's the issue of extracting the resources themselves. Asteroids aren't just rocks. They're made of complex combinations of metals, water, and other compounds. Scientists are still experimenting with methods for drilling, mining, and processing these materials in space, and there's no guarantee that any technique will work as seamlessly as expected. But here's the twisting in recent years. We've begun to crack some of these challenges. Cutting-edge technology has begun to show promising results. Robotic mining operations are being designed to grab samples from asteroids, process them in space, and even return the minerals back to Earth.
Marjan.
With advancements in artificial intelligence, robotics, and 3D printing, the dream of mining asteroids is slowly becoming a tangible reality. As private companies rush to stake their claim in the cosmos, governments have started to take notice. The question of who owns an asteroid and the resources within it has sparked fierce debates. While international space law currently prohibits nations from claiming
that probably has to do the reddest skies. What that is, Frank, is over the horizon. One of two things is happening. Either there's some wildfires going on, putting up lots of smoke and debris in the air, which as the sun goes down over the horizon, the light bends over the earth or before it starts bending over the horizon, it shoots through a debris layer of fine dust and particulates that are in the air. And it actually filters out some of the colors that we see with our eyes, and it causes it to be red. Or it's just a heavy smog in the direction of the east of you. Those are the two reasons why it's probably that color.
Sovereignty over celestial bodies. The lines are blurry when it comes to private corporations. Could one company end up monopolizing the asteroid market, turning the vast expanse of space into the next frontier of corporate warfare? Imagine a future where nations and corporations race to mine asteroids, not for the benefit of all, but for control over the most valuable resources
a lot
on
of
Earth.
Crazy shit, Frank.
What if the riches of space spark conflicts not just in the void, but on Earth itself? It's already happening. As companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and even
kind of off topic, Frank, here's another some interesting information. Someone on Independent Mini's show last week said, what color is the sky? And I asked, well, what perspective are you looking at it from? And I actually have a video of an astronaut who spent time in outer space going around the Earth and around the moon. And he said the sky is black. So that's what I meant when I said what sky's not blue. It's only blue from our perspective.
lesser known startups enter the field. The race to develop the technology necessary for asteroid mining is intensifying. Yet, in the background, space law remains murky and competition is fierce. The stakes couldn't be higher. But there's another twist to this story that no one expected. While asteroid mining has focused on metals like platinum and water, a shocking discovery has shifted the conversation entirely. Some asteroids contain compounds never before seen in our solar system, materials that could hold the key to next-generation technology, including quantum computers, advanced batteries, and even the fuels of the future. In a recent mission, a robotic probe discovered an asteroid with traces of a material that, when combined with certain metals, could lead to breakthroughs in energy production, potentially solving the world's energy crisis. This material could revolutionize not just energy production, but transportation, medicine, and artificial intelligence, opening doors that were previously thought to be closed forever. As if the promise of wealth and resources wasn't enough, these unexpected discoveries could hold the key to humanity's future.
See, now that right there, new minerals never seen in our solar system. When people want to know why I'm so excited about asteroid mining and space mining, they've already discovered in some of those asteroids elements and minerals that we know nothing about. I mean, as you just heard that dude say, they've done projective tests, not that they have the mineral, but from what they've done, limited science on this new mineral that's on this asteroid. They've done comparisons and meteorology science and just determined that there's a lot of benefit. And that right there, hey, what's up, Matthew, leads to more money being sunk into that division of the economy, or that part of the economy, causing, and just imagine what happens to the company that goes out there and mines that and brings that element back. Imagine how quickly they'll become $1 trillion company. You see what I'm saying? What's up, Gerald? So don't forsake your own perspective of their, oh, we're never going to space, or asteroid mining's crazy, because that one show I just did, a little 5-minute show, lets you know that there are discoveries to be made out there that will blow our mind and change our world. And our world needs to be blown and changed. Not like going down to red light district, better than that. But we need change in this world. and asteroid mining, where it's coming from. And I did a show a couple of days ago on how the government just gave out 5 grants of up to $750,000 to 5 different groups to figure out how we can weld in 0 atmosphere and 0 gravity. And they gave them up to $750,000 each to do experiments to figure that out. And I know for a fact about 8 years ago, Connextex, company I worked for, on this massive connection piece for huge 2 foot by 2 foot cube steel columns. There were 6 and 8 connection pieces, and it was all like to be for some sort of a massive dome structure. And they worked out all the math principles and stuff for that. So they're just looking for a new material, a stronger material, and they'll do those connections with that. And next thing you know, in the next 15, 20 years, we're going to have a biodome on the moon with research and development and refining and all kinds of good shit going on. Because all that technology is already being developed here on Earth. They're just that I've discovered. I'm the only one talking about it. Well, not the only one, but one of the very few talking about it. Like, again, the development of how to weld in outer space. That is the type of talk. When your government starts talking like that and throwing money at that type of thing, it should get your attention. It should get your attention, and you should start looking at it for long-term investments. That second show I gave, the guy gave a couple names of a couple different companies that are into looking into develop asteroid mining. And if you do your own research, and I've actually done a show on this as well, companies already have prototypes of robotic mining equipment that they can send out there, robotically controlled robotic mining, basically. And again, the first company to come back with that unique mineral that we don't have here on Earth, that'll be the largest company on the Wall Street. And if you have a couple shares of it, you'll be one of the wealthiest people on Wall Street. I mean, it's not so. Things are changing. Things are changing. This is not 1929. There's technologies around now that blow 1929 stock market crash away, and that it's just the golden age, as Trump said, is coming. What's up, bro? The golden age is coming. We just need to realize it, look at the opportunities, jump on the opportunities. You notice that gentleman also said these new minerals and elements that have been discovered can revolutionize the energy sector. I've said many times and done a couple shows on it that America is going to control the energy market of the world. And we are. So we're going to have to discover that new mineral so we can stay on top of yeah, I imagine they would. I actually don't. I have no freaking clue. I'll tell you right now. I know a lot about a lot of things, but I've never researched anything about space welding. I do know that it should be pretty easy because we weld underwater. So if you actually need oxygen, and we only use oxygen bubbles underwater because you can't weld in water because it'll electrocute you. So they make a bubble on the surface, and you weld inside that bubble of oxygen. Is how they pretty much do it in underwater welding, but you don't have to worry about that in outer space. So like Broke Stacker said, it'd probably be very, very easy to weld in outer space. And also it'd be very, very, environmentally safe to have a refinery on the moon to refine all these asteroids, mine stuff before they come back to Earth to help decontaminate them and whatnot, because the moon has no atmosphere. So you can't contaminate an environment if there is no environment. And that right there takes away about 60% of all smelting. Because if you look at the smelting costs, that's why America has no smelters, because it's very hazardous to the environment. But if you have a smelter on the moon, there is no environment. All you need is a stack about 100 foot tall and a little bit of combusted air to push that shit into outer space, and it'll just like disappear. So you have no concerns. So there is, I see a future where, a lot of materials will be coming from space, especially if we get that new mineral. If we can't synthesize it, hopefully we'll be able to synthesize it, and make it here at ourselves. Duct tape always works. Be nice. You can do lots of things with duct tape. I don't know if you can make a spaceship out of it, but I'm pretty sure they'll use it in space one day. We use it everywhere here on Earth. Where do they weld in? No, you have to validate that statement, Matthew. Everything they've sent up in space, they connect together. It's already pre-made in compartments, and then they send it up there and they screw it all together. I don't think they weld. Of course, I could be wrong. I don't know anything about space construction or welding. I have heard they've done this for a small period of time. They've actually made a plasma window. It was like 3 centimeters round. It lasted for like 3 seconds or 2 seconds. I don't know the usefulness of having a plasma window, but I'm sure technology will find something. So any topics anyone want to talk about other than the crazy shit that I've already brought up this evening? What do they do in the space station? They do all kinds of experiments that cost a lot of money here on Earth. Vacuum style experiments, weightlessness experiments. It's fake. Yeah, no flat Earth syndrome here. Sorry, guys. All you got to do is be out on the boat out in the Atlantic, and you'll see a curvature. Not a flat round, but a curvature round. A basketball style round, not a coin shape round. Deplorable. What's up, my man? You know, here, check this out, Deplorable. I noticed something bizarre yesterday in my yard. I go out there now that I got it kind of cleaned up. There was a bee, and I picked it up. It landed on the table beside me, so I allowed it to crawl on me. And I noticed it was taking a long time cleaning something off of its multiple eye sockets on each side of its head. And it seemed to be disorientated. So I'm thinking whatever, and this is just speculative. I just saw it one time and I had this thought that maybe whatever is in those chemtrails is actually affecting the bees because their eye sockets could really be screwed with. No, we have elements that are strong enough to prevent the penetration of smaller micro asteroids hitting the space station, Matthew. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff floating around there. But what you got to understand, Matthew, is it floating around at the lower Earth atmosphere, the middle Earth atmosphere, or the upper Earth atmosphere? There's a couple of 1,000 miles that things can float around up there. You can float around at 900-mile marker and there's nothing around you. You can float around the 600-mile marker and that's where all the trash is. You got to open up your thought process to space and how awesomely vast it is. You take care, Broke. The kitties definitely love it. They enjoy every bit of that yard. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely something going on, my friend. You know, it, yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. They're trying to kill off a lot of people, I imagine. And if you realize that, make appropriate moves to try and do what you can to protect yourself, you should make it through, and then they'll stop, and it'll all go back to, them not trying to kill everybody, and you should be able to breathe air safely, and blah 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 blah. If not, then they've already got a plan to get off this fucking planet, and if they do that, why extinct all of us that are still left on this planet? So it really doesn't make sense, other than possibility depopulation of a certain number, maybe get us down to about 6 or 7 billion, maybe 5 billion. Slow the growth rate for a couple of generations until technology allows it to where we can start expanding into different lunar spheres and different spheres of out there, Mars, the moons of Europa, our moon, different larger space satellites. Mm-hmm. Well, if you can get it tested, that's one good way to find out for sure. Other than that, it's all speculation. And as far as the insects go, there's a mathematical way to keep bees alive, but it can also work against you. But it's to have instead of just have one hive, have 10 hives. So that way, all the percentage go, 80% of hives go away. Technically, 2 of your hives should survive, unless you're in the area that 100% of the hives are going to wait to make up that 80%, in which case you don't stand a chance anyhow. So what the fuck can you do about it? But that's just my thought process. What I think everybody should do is try and make as much freaking money as possible in this crypto thing as it's going up, and then in silver and platinum and stocks, and buy housing as it crashes, and try and make a shitload amount of money. Then buy a freaking island and do everything you can to clean the air around the island. And if that doesn't work, at least you'll die on your own island. And that's better than dying in your own apartment in a city somewhere. So there you go. Positivity, positivity. Deplorable Hulk. Got some bad news for you, bro. It's called a tuning fork. Frank probably knows about it. Frank Terzo knows about tuning forks. If you get a tuning fork in a C note, and you go out to tomatoes as they're blooming, and you hit that tuning fork in the C note, and it goes bing, it'll burst the pollen nodules the same as a bumblebee, because bumblebees are the ones that go to tomato blooms. They're attracted to them, not the honeybee. The bumblebee is. And when the bumblebee lands on the tomato flower, it dislocates its wings and repositions them and flaps them, and it makes that C note, and that pollen nodule explodes. That's why when you see a bumblebee with pollen all over its body, it's because those pollen nodules exploded because that C note, and then it'll reconfigure its wings to flight mode and take off, but it'll have pollen all over its body. And honeybees actually collect pollen on their legs. Yeah, it's frequencies, very much frequency based. And here's another cool fact about bees. If you ever go to Africa or Asia, carry like a tape recorder with the bee sound, go for about 2 minutes and just have it ready. So that way, if any elephants come charging at you, you can impress your girlfriend. Stand in front of that charging elephant as it's about 100 yards away. Turn on that recording of that bee sound, and that elephant will stop dead in its tracks, turn around, and run away from you scared as hell because they scared bitches of bees. And you can make yourself look like Superman, have a charging bull elephant charging at your ass. And he'll even stop when he hears that bee sound because bees can kill him. Because if a bee stings inside of any critter's ears, it kills you. The swelling will kill you. And, well, obviously, elephants have real big ear canals, so they're even more concerned about bees. So if they hear the bee sound, they turn and run, no matter what their distemper is at the time. God put us down here to control things, bro. You just say, what's up, Silver Blues? Oh, I'm sure there is a note for Peach. My study was on bees and all the bees, and I came across that in the study of the bees. About the tomatoes, I didn't come. Peaches, they're not as big a crop, so I guess it wasn't brought up. I didn't really look into it, but I can almost guarantee there is a note that can be played that'll, if they have pollinating nodules that work the same way as the tomato plant does. Otherwise, it's made in a format to where a honeybee would actually have to get inside the flower and grab the pollen and pull it out with its and put it on its legs, or stick its tongue out, because a bee's tongue is about 25% the size of its body. It's got a really, really long amber colored tongue, and that's how they get down inside and get the pollen out from those. Emerald, what's up? But yeah, that's the bottom line on that. I used to have some pictures in my ass computer. It broke down. It's in the hard drive. I need to one day get stuff off of there. I have lots of pictures of bee's tongue, and they're between 25 and 35%. The length of the body of the bee is the length of the tongue of the bee. I don't know if the C notes get the peaches to open up. I know it does tomatoes. My research didn't go into different fruits and vegetables. I just know that that's why, because I was very interested in why the bumblebee always had pollen splat, like it got hit by a fucking glitter bomb. And the honeybee always has large nodules of pollens on its legs only. So they get their pollen different ways, and that interested me. And that's when I found out that because my study was on the honeybee, but I looked at the carpenter bee a little bit and the bumblebee, and the bumblebee goes for the carpenter bee does too, I guess, but it mostly goes for the tomato plants, and that's where the C note was discovered. That's why your inside tomato farmers, they don't use bees; they use the C note, that tuning fork of the C note. All of your inside tomato growers use that to pollinate their tomatoes. They don't use the bumblebee or carpenter bee. Oh, dude, I'm smoking so much man. I'm gonna do another short on my backyard, and I don't concentrated on it because so far YouTube hasn't given me a strike on it, but I got 4 plants in the ground around right in front of the canis lilies in the area of dirt along the garage side to the it'd be to I don't know where to be, probably to the right of the fence line, the new fence line. And I'll try and do a slow-mo, but 2 of the plants are already over a foot tall. and it just turned in May. I mean, those things are growing so damn fast. They're probably going to be 8 to 10 footers this year, and that's if I stunt their growth a little bit, which I'm probably going to have to. Oh yeah, I mean, if you're in California, you might as well become a fucking good. I developed my own seed line. I have, and actually, I'm seeding my seed line this year and cross seeding it, so I can get my two styles of feminized seeds, a couple hundred of each, so I can take with me to Alabama, so I don't have to buy feminized seeds, and I can continue growing. No, they're not clones. I do seeds, Emerald. I do seeds. I do have a clone in a bucket because there's this one type that I wanted to seed, and so I'm using that as my secondary seeding plant. I'm doing my my huckleberry, which is a derivative of blueberry muffin. It's known as huckleberry. I named it that. And this other type, and I'm going to cross seed and seed to itself, but I'm going to do it in a manner guaranteed females. Yeah, no, I don't clone. Cloning's actually, it's all financial, right? I'm not into the financials of weed growing. I'm into the plant and the quality of the flower and the effects. And different types of plant do different things to you. You have sativas, indicas, indica 80, 20, 60, 40. And then you got sativa, and then sativa, indica 80, 20, 60, 40. So there's so many crossbreeds of each, depending on what your medical need for the weed is. What's up, Gerald? But yeah, if you want to make money, cloning's the way to go. But I can tell you right now, when you clone, the second generation of clone you get, the THC potency or stone factor is not going to be as high. And the third time you take clones from that, it's going to be even less potent. And the fourth time, it's even less. And then the fifth time's the last time you can take clones from a mother if it's not already dead. And then you sell the mother, and the mother's pretty much crap at that point in time anyhow. It's really not good as far as if you want a good finished product. Cloning's not the way to go, in my personal opinion. What's up, C4? Well, you'll have to come down to Alabama area, because in about a year, I have my crop going down there. And come November next year, it'll be coming up. Oh, yeah, it very much does. It very much does. Yeah, it's generational degradation. Because what happens is the mother plant grows, you cut some of its limbs off, it stunts that plant, stops its growth for a couple of weeks, and then it starts growing again. And then so it's a weaker plant at that point in time, and then they cut limbs off of it again, and then it goes through another stunted growth period, and then it'll start growing limbs again, then they'll cut it again. It's very torturous to the plant, actually, very bad. Yes, strictly outdoors. I don't, indoors too expensive, always has been, and you have to add chemicals indoor. And if you do like a lume reader, which is a light reader for the amount of actual light rays hitting the area where your plant's at, they actually have lume readers for inside. You take that lume reader outside, it'll break that son of a bitch. There's so many looms in it. It's like 100,000 times more natural light, and it's free. To where indoor you have to pay for it, and then you have to add the CO2, and there's all kinds of other shit you can do to it. And then you can add chemicals to make it turn purple, and you can make chemicals to. There's too much chemicals. I'm an anti-chemical kind of guy. Mine right now is 100% organic. The only thing I'm going to add to it is water. Bat guano. This year I'm going to add bat guano, and I'm going to get a brew, 5-gallon bucket with water. I'm going to stick molasses in there, put a beer in there, and crab shell meal, and I'm going to bubble it for a couple of days, letting the bacteria grow. and I'm going to use that to water it one time during the year. And that's all I'm going to do. And I'll show you a picture of the, come October when I cut it down. I'll have one bent sideways because it's going to be too tall. It'll probably be 12 foot tall. I can tell already it's going to be too tall. Because the average is come August 1st when it starts the flowering side. The plant will grow anywhere from 50 to 150% its size starting August 1st when it goes into flower. So if it's a 6 foot tall plant, then in August 1st, it'll be between 9 foot and 15 foot tall, depending on the species, how you care for it, blah, 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 weather conditions, other things, bugs. I mean, if you stress it out or not. So, yeah, you got to know a lot about weed to maximize it. There's different times of the growing cycle of weed that you should, if you know what you're doing, you should have different types of natural organic fertilizer to it to help out. And because it's just like a human, it goes through different life cycles, and at different times of its life cycle, it doesn't need, but it could use boost in certain things that could help it in its growth cycle and in its life cycle. But that you really got to do studying to figure all that shit out. Skittles and gelato. Yeah, I did gelato last year. Soma. Yeah, I got my own line I call Huckleberry. It's a derivative of blueberry muffin and purple cream. I mix those two and call it Huckleberry. But it smells like blueberry, so it's got a heavy blueberry muffin strain more than the other strain, the other one that I mixed it with. Quit bothering me, kitty. And that's why I'm seeding this year. I'm going to come up with another new strain. I'm going to mix my strain with a clone that I'm going to seed with because I wanted a specific type. And it'll only be this first generation of seeds. So next year when I do that in particular seed, I'll have to look for the traits that I want and pull certain ones aside and reseed those, and have to do it 5 times before I can get guaranteed that the new style I'm coming up with will be that every cycle. But my Huckleberry, it's solid strain. Yeah, I like having 2 strains. That's good enough for me because usually you'll find someone that you can trade with if you get bored with your shit. Sweet. Zardos. Yeah. Let's talk about platinum. What is considered a crop and how many? What is considered a crop? I don't even know how to answer that question. Each state allows you a different number if you have the medical marijuana card. If you don't have the medical marijuana card, here in California, and actually each county can change that state number, which actually in California, a lot of states have changed that number higher, for lower for the most part. A few of them actually higher, but 6 is the number. And if the county doesn't go through, or the city doesn't go through the legal means to change that number, it reverts to the state number, which is 6 that you can grow without having any law enforcement coming and harassing you. And yeah, this year I got 6, 2 that I'm going to seed and 4 that I'm growing for weed. Yeah, see, it's a different difference. And in Alabama, they've got medical marijuana. So I'll be cool. That, and if you have a couple of acres, fuck everybody. If your shit doesn't, everyone looks for the smell of the skunk smell, the stinky, skunky, musky smell. But if your shit smells like a blueberry tree or bush, people ain't going to associate that with fucking weed. And you can grow right up underneath their noses as long as they don't actually see the freaking plant. And if you have a couple of acres, they shouldn't be on your property seeing your fucking plant. But yeah, some states it's still a felony. Sadly is a good word to use for that one. But hold on. Whoa. Here's some insider information. That one right there. It's a small stock. It's 0.0003 cents per share, right? You can get like freaking, oh gosh, 30 shares per penny. Okay. It's called MJNA. It's a medical marijuana stock, been in business since 2004. Okay. Trump next week is supposed to have a speech saying that he's going to legalize medical marijuana. When he does that, that stock right there is going to go from 0.0003 to probably 3.0, which would actually be 1,000x. So if you stuck $50 in that MJNA and it 1,000x'd it, that would give you $50,000. And one thing that Trump has to do from his last time in office is to complete his campaign promise of legalizing medical marijuana. And when he does that, MJNA, that stock is going to, and 1,000x is nothing. All that needs to do is make it 3 cents and it's 1,000x. And to get the 3 cents is hella easy. And yes, they will, Emerald, but he made that campaign promise in his first round and he didn't do it. So, and I just saw Gerald Draper sent me a video stating that Trump's going to come out next week and do a speech on medical marijuana. And if he says he's going to fulfill his campaign promise of last time, that, like I said, that stock will fucking 1,000x it. And for it to 1,000x, it's 0.0003 cents. It's like, oh my God. So all it has to do is go up to 3.0 cents or 3 cents and you 1,000x'd it. It is so damn easy to 1,000x small penny stocks like that over a stock that's a quarter. 1,000x a quarter, it's got to go up to 250, or it's like outrageous. So the best time to make money is on small ones. And MJNA, if Trump talks about that stock next week, or not, he's not going to talk about that stock, excuse me. If he talks about his campaign promise of legalizing medical marijuana nationally, that stock will freaking 1,000x it. I can't guarantee that, but it'll at least 100x. And you know, if you just throw $50 at it, 100x is still $5,000 on a $50 bet. So it's like almost guaranteed gambling. I don't know, Sean, where the best place to buy stocks is at. I actually don't have any right now. Dude, I might have had to take up my Scottish citizenship and move back to the family estate if she won, Emerald. And I'd be hating life because I hate the cold. And they damn sure can't grow weed there. It's too cold. I'd be miserable. So I'm glad she lost. Very, very good of her to have lost. Very, very good for all of us that she lost. Fidelity. I don't really like Schwab. But yeah, MJNA. Look into it. Do your own research, and don't wait till after Trump makes his speech, because after he makes his speech, it'll already jumped up. It'll still be cheap, and it'll still have a lot of upward action, but you won't get the same percentage gain ever again as you will out that first bump. I had someone supposed to be buying me $30 worth of it for my birthday. Right on. Everyone's got their own thing to go for. XRP definitely is a good one. Again, I would throw $50 at MJNA because it's like next week, or whenever Trump gives that talk about his medical marijuana, that thing's going to jump. Same thing happened with NNE. Gerald was actually part of it. It was at $20. I told him, I says, hey man, Trump's going to talk about this energy sector next week. You might want to buy some of that stock. And it went from $20 up to 45, and then it fell back down, but it over doubled in a week just because of a speech. And the same thing's going to happen with MJNA. The only thing is, it's not $20. It's only 0.0003. So when he talks about it, it'll easily jump up to 3 cents, which is 1,000x. And that's why you see why I like penny stocks. Because it takes those are all good ones, Gerald. It was April 24th. Be nice. Yes, they will. It'll go back to a better economy, and we'll go back to a true history where people actually made clothing and paper and all kinds of shit with hemp. And we didn't have to cut down forest, and we didn't have to manufacture a fake economy to a fake global warming, because we actually have a forest we can grow in 9 months without cutting down a tree. We can cut down that whole forest without cutting down a tree and regrow it next year. A whole forest in 9 months. Get the production line of a whole forest out of hemp, and it grows in 9 months. Man, the financial implications of that are outstanding. Also, all the tree huggers are happy. All the freaking wood house builders are happy because it's mold resistant. All the homeowners will be happy because it's mold resistant and critter resistant. No termites. It's like, wow, such a better product too. Why aren't we using it? Why? Because to grow an economy, you have to have shit products and turn them out there and need maintenance every 10 years. Look at how houses are built. You buy a new house within 10 years, you're going to need maintenance. Why? It's designed that way. It stimulates the economy. If we used hemp wood that had no mold and mildew and was resistant to pests and bugs, and so you had none of those issues, you'd build a better house that wouldn't need maintenance, that wouldn't stimulate the economy, so you wouldn't have a growth economy. So it's a give and take. You want a fast-growing economy or slow-growing economy and good products. It goes in cycles. We're coming up to a cycle where good quality products is happening. It happened in the 50s when America was building kick-ass shit, man. We were building the best of the best. Matter of fact, Cuba still has the cars we made in the 50s. They were that damn good. That, or we didn't allow them to get anything else. It'd be worth it, man. If you're talking about MJNA, it damn sure be worth it. And that's just, do your own research. Do your own research. But look at that. Don't listen to me. Everything I say is to be taken as bullshit. As the sign says on the screen. Don't listen to me. Everything to be taken as bullshit. Yeah, there's lots of things that we can do. And if you actually think about it, man, and you actually truly look at history, dude, global warming's a joke, man. We make forest. The whole Amazon rainforest grew on top of the Aztecian fucking civilization. You can go look at a map of the Amazon rainforest and look at the coloration of the trees, and they've already determined this. And the coloration of the trees can determine where the buildings are, because the trees go through the rock. They're getting different minerals, so they're a different color. And if you use the color spectrum for plants photography, it's clear as day where all of the structures are. And they say there's over 10,000 structures underneath the Amazon rainforest. So we could cut the whole fucking Amazon rainforest down and not lose a stride. And then you look up in Maine. Maine is actually most of the Maine United States, the state of Maine. Most of it's go down, dig 3 foot down if you're near the coastline, and you're on top of a sand dune. Literal sand dune. It's not bedrock, it's a sand dune. Part of it's eroding away on the East Coast, and you can able to see where there's a forest on top of a sand dune. It's like, holy shit. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. Been going an hour. Since nobody wants to come up and add to the creative conversation, I think an hour is good enough for this Sunday. I'm going to cut you people loose so you can have yourself a great start of next week. Do seriously look at MJNA stock. $50, man. Might be the best $50. And oh, by the way, if it does take off and you threw $50, fucking send me 10% for the fucking heads up. You guys have a great one. God love you. God bless you and keep you safe.